What's going on, guys? Winter Kills here, and welcome to a brand new episode of Saturday Night Locals. Here we are in round 3, and you may or may not be able to tell, but this is also being recorded as a regular feature match. I was suggested to be put on the feature, and I was like, you know what? Why the hell not, I guess, even though I'm going to be doubly recording it. Yeah, I don't know. But this is going to be, like, obviously a more in-depth play-by-play and behind the scenes of what I'm doing as opposed to what is going on overall, I guess. But yeah, continuing on with the Earth Machine grind, round 3, there'll be one more round, and after that we'll be moving on to Rika, which actually will be in the new format as when we'll be playing that. So one healer, one Dryas, and I've been seeing a few combos here and there, showcasing how the deck can still combo with the cards that is now missing. So I'm very excited to play the deck in a way that I haven't played it before, which is nice because, you know, I was kind of dreading the fact, I don't know if dreading is the right word, but not looking forward, I guess, to playing a deck that the last time I played it was very similar. Now there's just kind of some forced change, and I'm definitely happy about that. So we're going to see me go redeployment, discard Imperm, grab Gear Frame and Citadel, and then we're going to go ahead and use the Gear Frame to grab the Unclasper. Unclasper is going to go ahead and send Fortress to the grave. So I have that set up as an extender. And here I'm pretty sure I already have Harvester in hand. But I'm not going to like telegraph that I don't already have that. I'm pretty sure my opponent doesn't really know what my deck does anyways. So I'm just going to continue through the combo as normal, despite me already having the card I would have searched anyways, just because, you know, it's free card advantage, free follow-up for next turn potentially, free discard fodder when we're talking about Fortress, so I figured we'll just take it. And speaking of Fortress, we go ahead and special summon it there by bringing out, well, sending off the Citadel in hand, and then I go straight for Ancient Gear Ballista, also because I already have Dozer in hand. I'm not sure if this actually happened in one of the previous episodes, where normally you would just go into the Platinum Gadget and Platinum Gadget with Special Summon Harvester, then you grab Dozer, but obviously in a situation like this, we don't need to do that step. We can kind of skip that, and we're just going to go ahead and go this route here to go ahead and grab the box, and with it the Trencher, because I would like to be able to summon out Fortress again, and also get like the Harvester Trencher set up in grave. So we go ahead and add those. And I think I'm also realizing now that, like, hand's a little weird, but it's not as weird as it could be. Kind of curious to see what it is I do here exactly. Yeah, so I guess I just keep it simple, because I'm pretty sure I could have just discarded Harvester, Box, and Trencher to get over that 8 level mark to summon Fortress again. Then I could have gone like Trencher for Harvester, Search, another Trencher, I guess, for follow-up, and then, you know, make Enter Blast and rip a card, and then resolve Dozer. Well, I wouldn't have had an Earth Machine on field. Well, yeah, I would have. I would have had Ballista, so I technically could have done that. But I guess this is just like an alternate route. And grabbing Regulus here is something I wanted to do too, considering the fact that I had the Gear Frame in grave. And again, I know I'm probably not playing this out as best as I possibly could. I also should preface that at the point of me playing this, I still only had like a week or so of moderate practice with the deck just to get reacclimated with it, but definitely not enough time to relearn a lot of the very intricate lines the deck has. And I appreciate all the feedback that I got on the last couple videos from people I'm sure are far more in tune with the deck than I am currently. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to leave those comments and, you know, tell me what exactly it is I'm missing in some of these plays. Not only just for my sake, but for other potential Earth Machine enthusiasts. And people keep asking, there will be an updated deck profile coming. I just wanted to get these out of the way first, then show you guys the list. So yeah, we go ahead and summon out River Stormer there, and then link that River Stormer into another Tunneler, or another Goliath, sorry. Then we go Trencher here, get over the Gear Frame. This is going to allow me to get that extra Goliath in the graveyard. So we just go ahead and link those off into, yeah, the double-headed Anger Knuckle here. And I've got Called By, which, I mean, you already see the title. We're playing against Tearlament, so having Called By is going to be really nice to have here. And I think we can put back 5 extra deck monsters. So that means we just get to draw 2 right into the deck. And I offer my opponent a cut there, since I think I've gone into the deck already a few times at Urgent Schedule and Droll and Lockbird, which is also pretty solid against Tearlament. Also, I guess, depends on what version they're playing. If they're playing Dangers and stuff like that. I mean, Droll just always is kind of nice. Let's be honest. I mean, milling Soliak, milling Scream, milling Trivikarma, you know, Planet that gets turned off, all this stuff. So it's not a bad card at the end of the day. And especially now that Kelback and Agito are banned, ooh, feels good. So we've got Urgent Schedule set, we've got Called by the Grave, we've got Regulus, we've got Citadel, we've got Droll. And my opponent starts with Mudora pitching Agito, and Agito is going to go ahead and activate here to go ahead and mill 5. Who is glad that this card is finally banned? I know I am. It's one thing that Tyr gets to mill their deck for 5 cards, potentially hit into other things like he hits there with Murley and Havness, but also milling cards off the top of my deck. And now in this deck, the thing about this deck, the one thing I did not mind in this particular matchup with the, what were they called? The Ishizu cards, right? The mills normally would kind of just be aggravating because you're just like losing cards out of your deck that you necessarily didn't want to lose out of your deck at a certain point. But here we milled a Trencher, an Overdrive, and a Bullet. Those are 3 fantastic cards to have in the graveyard. And he only used Shire in there, so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and burn Called By on that. It gets Havness out of the game, and that's just good, right? I'm down with that. I'm totally down with that. And, yeah, so Bullet being in Grave 2 is really strong, because I think I've also mentioned this before in other, the last couple matches for Earth Machine here, is that the interaction of being able to recycle back Regulus to the hand, especially if you've got a Gear Frame in Grave 2, you can keep getting that Omnion field plus free extender, really, really strong. So he ends up normal summoning the Rhino Heart there, and then he activates Shire in his Chainlink 1, then tries to immediately Chainlink to Magnamut to, like, block the Shiren, but I was like, you know, I have a chance to respond to the Shiren, so I'm going to respond to the Shiren. I'm going to negate it. And he still ends up summoning the Magnamut, the 1-of there to banish my 1-of in Class Pair. And he triggers the effect of Magnamut in the end phase there, and luckily I'm playing a deck that, you know, Bystials don't really do too much against. I mean, he can hit Rune Force, and he can hit in Class Pair, but that's really about it. And I know some people are going to be talking about it. I'll address it. Speedroids are a deck that I am going to be absolutely 100% revisiting. I did some testing with it last night, and I had an absolute blast. Played against Vanquishal, crushed it. Played against Fire Kings, crushed it. Played against Tyr, crushed it. Played against Bystia Runic, crushed it in one match. We played 2 matches against it, and I know I'm getting off track here, but while my opponent reads cards in my grave, you know, played Bystia Runic for 2 matches, beat it once really badly, and then the second match I kind of threw by not using D-Shifter in the standby phase like I should have. But it is what it is. So my opponent here is going to fire off that Mudora on field, and I could have done a couple different things here. He's going to go ahead and try to put back Fortress, put back Citadel, and that was really it from my grave. So what I could have done there is just chained Overdrive to put those back into the deck. Here, and also here, I should have chained Urgent Schedule, because now I like can't use it because we both have the same amount of monsters. You know, I freely get the Citadel out of the grave too, which is kind of nice, so I don't have to worry about the getting shuffled back into the deck. But yeah, I definitely a missed opportunity there for sure. And I think my opponent was a little confused about Citadel there. He thought it activated on summon. Doesn't do that to blow up. Luckily, the card would definitely be a little worse if that was the case. But I should have just chained the Urgent Schedule. There's so many good chainable effects in the Earth Machine deck, and you can see I've definitely forgotten that a time or two. And my opponent is going to go ahead and activate Foolish Burial, which thankfully is no longer nearly as good in tier as it was, because you can't just turn it into an instant mill 5. But he's going to go ahead and send off that Murley and use that to go ahead and perform a fusion summon here. And I'm pretty much fully expecting him to probably go for Kaleido Heart here to start kind of like picking apart the board. And you can also shuffle stuff back, which in this particular scenario, kind of like getting rid of Citadel, might not be too bad. But oh yeah, okay. So he is gonna go for the good old Kaleido Heart there, so he uses the Rhino Heart on board. And I was expecting to maybe use the King of the Swamp. I was kind of hoping he would, so I could still use Urgent Schedule. And he targets the set to shuffle back, and then this is where I'm like, damn, I'm gonna lose Urgent Schedule to this. Like, and again, I know I already missed an opportunity. I could have changed it in response to my Knuckle, and gotten 2 free bodies out. Like, could have gotten another Fortress out. Could have just gotten another Gear Frame out of the deck, just for free. And my opponent's gonna go into battle phase, attack over the Citadel, attack over the Knuckle, and then New Chain Citadel effect, just because, you know, he attacked in that order, so I get to bring back Citadel. And yeah, I was like, he was kind of ready to destroy his own cards there. I'm like, but yeah, it doesn't work like that. It's not that crazy of a card, even though in my opinion, I think if it blew up on summon, anything 3k or lower would be not as good as being able to like chain it to whatever you want. And end phase, he's resolving Magnamut. I'm resolving the Bullet Train that was milled to be able to add back Therion King Regulus to now have an Omni Negate. And we draw for turn another Urgent Schedule, which, I mean, come on. That is some pretty good luck there. And we're going to go ahead and use the Regulus to go ahead and equip the Gear Frame. And also, I just didn't use Urgent Schedule. Well, what am I doing, man? I just didn't use Urgent Schedule. Do I not like summoning 2 bodies for free? Is that what I'm getting at here? Could have summoned out like Derek Crane 2. Get access to that, get that in rotation. And here I was like, wait, do I even have a way to resolve Harvester? And I actually didn't. Which is not so unfortunate, because I can just link it off into Goliath, get access to Riverstormer. And I pretty much know all of the interruptions, right? I know he has Druisworm in hand, and that's literally the only interruption. So there really isn't anything to worry about. The only thing I wish I could like have a way to search to my hand would be like Ruin Force. Well, Ruin Force can't summon from the hand; it has to be summoned from the grave, I believe. But that would also technically play just into Druisworm. But right now, I think as you can probably guess, I am just trying to go for game outright. We go ahead and special summon Fortress. Trencher's going to go ahead and bring back the Harvester. And right now, I think I'm just trying to get rid of the Kaleido Heart. So we're going to go into a rank 9, as we are not Earth Machine locked. And yeah, we go ahead and just dismantle the old Arise Heart there. Or not Arise Heart, the Kaleido Heart. And we're going to use the Gear Frame to go ahead and bring itself up. And I think I'm ready to set up another Ballista. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and put back the Tunneler, and Box I should be putting back as well. And I think I already have another Trencher in grave. So just recycle the other one. And we're going to go ahead and draw into just 1 here. And the thing is, I can also, now that I've put the box back, like, I can link off the, you know, just kind of the dead Riverstormer and the Gear Frame. And also, I guess, go into another Goliath and load up the graveyard a little bit. And then this just here just felt wrong, what I was doing. Putting the box back after recycling it, you know, and putting the Ballista back the previous turn and summoning that back out, searching the box back out again. You know, summoning out the Fortress again. Knuckle, I think I do here to go ahead and send off the... I don't know why I do this, because low-key, I had the heavy forward in hand, so I could use Ballista's effect to, like, drop the Magnamut to 0 attack, which is an effect you don't really use too often. But now I'm going to resolve Tunneler here, and I'm like, alright, let's just draw some more cards. Because I don't think I fully realized it, but I'm like, I already just have game here. I draw into Trencher and Dozer, which are, you know, whatever. Well, we're kind of just like at the max capacity of what the deck can really do at this point, which is kind of weird. Not really much in the way of link climbing anyways, but we just go battle phase. We attack with Regulus first, so if he wants to use the Druid Worm now, we just freely negate it and just swing in for game with everything else. So yeah, that was game 1 there. Maybe it took a little bit longer on my part to actually close the game out, but it is what it is. So we're going to head into game 2, and my opponent will opt to go first, as is expected, and we draw Rune Force, Triple Tactics, Redeployment, Trencher, and DD Crow. So here's me getting hard punished yet again by not siding out Redeployment. My opponent's going to go ahead and start with the Perlerino, which this time around we'll go ahead and search him out, Shiren. And the other thing you're probably noticing too is that my hand is actually just unplayable as is, so I'm desperately hoping I draw into some sort of starter extender. Just anything to make the hand playable. So they go ahead and summon out Shiren, pitch Magnamut. I was like, please don't pitch a Guido. But they're going to mill Solic, Keldo. Oh yeah, they only mill 3 there. For some reason I was like waiting for them to mill 5. But they mill Keldo and Solic, so Solic's going to go ahead and search out a copy of Tier Cash. So just trying to get some more mills into the graveyard to get the engine rolling. And they go ahead and normal summon Diviner, and I'm like, all right, this is sending one thing, only one of 2 things. And he's gonna go ahead and send the Agido. And we're off to the races. We're gonna mill some cards here. One last ride, and we're gonna mill Trencher, Called by, Citadel, Ash, and Regulus. And he ends up milling Kelbeck because of course, right? And alongside a what is it? Rhino Heart. So he uses Kelbeck and Rhino Heart, and here I'm like, you know what? I might as well just shotgun this DD Crow here. You know, maybe it's a good DD Crow, maybe it's not. It also gets a level 4 off the field for him to like make a rank 4 with, or a Synchro 10. So I decide to fire the DD Crow on the Rhino Heart. It'll stop him from getting a guaranteed send instead of randomly milling one. And of course the 5th card that he mills happens to be Merly. So my logic almost paid off there. And here you can see now my hand is not so dead, because now I have access to Citadel and Fortress in Graveyard. And not only that, but I do have a Trencher and a Harvester in Graveyard. So now I went from being completely unplayable to milling 10 cards off the top to being playable. So yeah, I mean, we'll take it. It's not the way I was expecting to get there, but it's definitely going to get the job done. Milling the Ancient Gearbox does kind of suck, I will admit. Milling the Regulus kind of sucks, I will admit, since I only play 1 Regulus. And he's going to resolve, I believe, the Merly there. And he'll go ahead and fuse into a Kaleido Heart. Which, I thought this was weird that he went for the Kaleido Heart instead of something like Rokalos, because Kaleido Heart's not really, like, a true interruption. I mean, like, it definitely can be an interruption on my turn if they are able to, like, get an Aqua to be sent to the graveyard. Which, like, if they have Tier Cash in circulation, they have a chance of being able to do that. Yeah, I don't know. Wasn't necessarily what I was expecting them to end on. And then they're going to end Synchro 10, of course, into Baron with the help of that Diviner, whose level has been modified by 4, so it's level 6 now. And they're going to set one, and they'll just go ahead and pass her. And I top deck evenly matched. I was like, all right, this makes things a little interesting. And I'm obviously going to use the evenly, because I might as well just try to trade for 3 cards for free, because he's got the field spell up. And, you know, I go like end main, battle phase, and battle phase. I'm fully expecting this Baron to negate it, but he very quickly just starts like picking cards to banish face down. And I'm like, all right, didn't expect to get that far. And I was kind of hoping to negate it too, just because like, well, I guess I wouldn't be able to talents because it happens in the battle phase, not in the main phase. But again, if that didn't confuse me, I would be lying. And again, that Rune Force in hand is coming in clutch now, as I just have Citadel, or a Fortress rather, already in the graveyard. And now we go Trencher effect, and we're going to go ahead and target the Harvester. And I know he has a Keldo engrave, so I think I'm trying to potentially force that out. Also, any way to just force out the Baron too would be nice. But the Keldo being an interruption here is kind of tough. That's like a very, very good interruption against this deck. Just to have the free triple DD Crow, basically. And as expected, he does use the Keldo, putting back his Shiren. Of course, the Trencher, or the Harvester rather, that Trencher targeted. And not sure what card he chooses there. He goes, I think that's Crime. I think that's Crime. Couldn't tell if it was Soul Eater Crime. All the tier traps look very, very similar from a distance. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the deck, offer him a cut. And now at this point, Talents is live. And I can also just freely special summon the Rune Force. Non-activated special summon, just kind of happens. And I could have also gone battle. Well, I already used Battle Phase. I keep forgetting that's not an option. So I go Talents to draw 2. My opponent chains Tear Cache, banishing Scream, and the draw 2 resolves to my surprise, drawing into impermanent redeployment. Not the best, and his Tear Cache is going to mill Havness and Merly. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. But also at the same time, I'm like, if he doesn't play, you know, another Kaleido Heart, do I really care about what it is he's going to actually fusion summon here? Like, he could make a Drago Sepelia, sure. He could make like a Garura or a Mud Dragon, but all of those things I really don't necessarily care about. So there goes Garura. And here I'm also maybe expecting he'll just make like Predaplant. But I don't think they do that. They go for Mud Dragon. Now, keep in mind, I believe our tier player is also not like necessarily a veteran tier player. So they might not be making the craziest plays possible. So understand that. But we go ahead and use the redeployment that we drew in here. And we're going to go ahead and discard the perfectly now drawn one of Overdrive. And my opponent decides to negate that. I'm like, okay, that's fair, honestly. I was wondering when this Baron negate was going to get used. I wasn't sure if he was like saving it for the next game. And I just decided to put back all my banished. Regulus box, and couldn't tell exactly what that. I think it was Trencher. Yeah, Regulus box, Trencher. Hoping I don't draw the box. Draw into Bullet, which is a pretty good draw, actually. Considering now I can link both the Rune Force and, well, I think Ballista needs 2 Earth Machines, so I don't think I can actually make Ballista yet, even though that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Yeah, so I'm looking at Ballista, making sure I can actually summon the monster I'm trying to summon. So I just go for Clifford Genius, and then I go special summon Bullet Train, since all monsters we have are Earth Machines, and then we go ahead and link those off into Ballista. Alright, I was wondering where this line was going. And this is going to go ahead and add Box and Tunneler, since we've already used Trencher, and I've already got, I think, another Trencher in hand. And this will provide, again, another Summon a Fortress, conveniently adding 9 levels worth of Earth Machine. And we've got Bullet in the graveyard now, so that's in rotation. And potential rank 10 access, considering the fact that we have Rune Force and have not made Knuckle yet. We go ahead and special summon that Trencher from hand by tributing over the Ballista, and then linking that Trencher into a Goliath. Special summon out the Fortress yet again by pitching Box and Tunneler. And then here we go ahead and link both of these off into the Anger Knuckle. And then we go ahead and use the Tunneler here, and, you know, for a second game in a row, we're going to go ahead and try to draw 3 cards in 1 turn. So we put back Box, Trencher, and 3 other extra deck cards, because I didn't want to put back anything else. I know putting back the Trencher is not like the most ideal thing. We draw into Harvester and Fortress. So I was like, okay, drawing into the fortress is kind of nice. I don't mind drawing into high-level machines at this point. It's kind of hoping I might draw into something like Regulus or Derricrane. That would really open things up. But we also still, again, don't have a battle phase, so we've got to keep that in mind. So I need a way to, like, kind of wall up right now. That's essentially what I'm trying to do. So we just go double-headed Anger Knuckle, send to go ahead and summon back a level 10, and then we go ahead and summon Rune Force yet again. And I go ahead and banish double Fortress here. Just so at least when's, you know, I guess if something were to happen to that, well, I guess the only reason is just because I don't want to banish Citadel. I'd rather just keep Citadel engraved since I was just going to overlay with the Rune Force. And we set the Imperm. And I was going to detach here in the end phase off of number 81 to get an add back, but I don't have anything to add back off of Bullet. So I just decide to pass there. You know, the Baron Negate has been exhausted. Of course, he still has a pop available. You know, Guru and Mud Dragon I don't really care about. He has no Shufflers left in grave. And I think he only has one card left in hand. So I'm feeling confident that, like, there's probably no way, unless he just plays Underworld Goddess right now and just links off with it. That'd be kind of crazy, I'm not going to lie. But I'm like, I should be able to survive this turn. Like, that's all I really need to do. We got denied a battle phase because I used the Evenly, so that's one thing. It's also one reason why I don't necessarily like Evenly in this deck, but I really don't know what else to play. Maybe it should just be Droplet, honestly. Maybe it should just be Droplet. So my opponent normal summons the Rhino Heart, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to bother imperming this. I'm just going to let it go. Also, I can't imperm it because Mud Dragon's on field. Can't imperm Mud Dragon, Tear Cash, or Rhino Heart. So I just, in response, I'm like, I'm just going to go ahead and chain number 81, importantly detaching that Bullet Train, getting that in the graveyard. So not only can we get that end phase add back, but we could potentially bring it back off of the Knuckle. He's going to try to resolve Shiren right now, and I literally am, again, thinking, like, if he doesn't have access to King of the Swamp, he can't make Rokalos. And assuming that, at this point, it's very clear that he doesn't play a second Kaleido Heart, is that we don't have to really worry about anything that he summons here. It's just going to be, like, yeah, just a Drago Stapelia. Which, again, like, he can fusion summon a lot this turn, but the things that he can fusion summon are very low impact. So, again, there's really nothing to worry about. So now he goes Baron, attempt to target the set to pop it. I chain Imperm, targeting the Drago Stapelia to see if he'll force that out, and it does. He targets the Knuckle to try to put a counter on it, and I chain to go ahead and bring back, sending itself to bring back out the Bullet. So now Bullet's on field is a nice juicy little target to be able to attack over that little, you know, enticing 0 defense. While that Citadel lurks in the graveyard. I'm like, yeah, if you get rid of this Bullet Train, you'll be doing me more a favor than, you know, not. And I don't even think we've gotten to Riverstorm in this game, but we have a way to Dozer next turn. So we have a good way to play next turn. So my opponent goes into Dark, and I was kind of expecting maybe he'd go for, like, SP Little Knight to, like, banish the Citadel out of my grave. But I think he ends up just going for Tearlament Sprined. Dark's going to take the only Dark in the grave currently. And luckily I didn't detach Rune Force because that would have just been a free card to just, you know, take with Dark. Activates Planet, searches out Shiren. And then Shiren effect, pitching Mothman. Milling Terraforming, Tear Cash, and King of the Swamp. So now he's got King of the Swamp access. And Tear Cash is going to mill Trivia Karma and Tear Cash. So nothing really too crazy there. And now going to link off the Dark and the DD Crow. I believe he goes for the Sprine here. And of course, Sprine is going to send Merly. And even again, now that he even has access to the King of the Swamp, right, and can now make Rokalos. Like, I still don't even care about Rokalos because it's not doing anything to number 81. And yes, sure, it can contest now the Citadel, which honestly is pretty valid. Like, that's something I'm definitely kind of concerned about at this point. Like, he's got a board filled with monsters, and all I can rely on right now is just the number 81 kind of holding down the fort. So he goes battle phase, attacks over the bullet, and of course I chain Citadel. Once that is destroyed, he does negate with the Rule Kalos, which he should have sent a tier off, which he does. Sends off the tier cache. And I believe he just passes here. I don't think there's anything that you can link off with or anything that you really want to link off with. And Bullet is engraved during the end phase now, right where I want him. But there's really nothing crazy to add back. Like, do I add back the Citadel? I think I do. I add back the Citadel? Is there a reason to add back the Citadel? I guess it's just free discard fodder for Knuckle. I think that's probably what matters the most, honestly. And we rip into an Unclasp Bear as I throw my Evenly on the ground on accident. Unclasp Bear definitely could have been a better draw, especially this late in the game. What it is, what it is. So we're going to go ahead and attempt to use Knuckle here. I'm trying to, of course, bait out the Rokalos. See if he'll use that negate. And I think it's probably in the best interest to not use the Rokalos here. You probably want to just save it for Citadel. So we go ahead and bring out Knuckle here. And you're going to just see just how much this one Harvester is going to send what we have right over the top. So we're going to normal summon the Harvester. He's going to attempt to put a count on with the Stapelia. We, of course, chain the number 81 to make it so it is unaffected. And then we're going to link that off. Because I'm also curious. If I protect Harvester with number 81, can I use Dozer on it? That's a good question. Part of me wants to say no. So I'm glad I linked it off into Goliath. Yeah, because I don't think maybe I don't even think I really could have done that. Maybe. I don't know. Unless, yeah. So we go ahead and summon out Rune Force. And we put the biggest gun on top of it. And I put the Rune Force on field too because I didn't want to resolve the Dozer in this machine lock myself. I also should have just used... is there no reason why I don't use the Dozer? Was it because I didn't want him to rule Kalos it? I think that maybe was it. I also don't use Juggernaut Lieb's effect here because I want to be able to attack over 2 monsters and deal as much damage as possible. So I kind of do a really cool play here. Like, really, really cool. So we're at 4,000. Everything of his is boosted up by 5. Anything that's a tier or fusion. But all my dudes are also equally as huge. And so we're going over the Baron for, like, 16. Knuckle's going to go over the Sprint. And then watch this play. I pulled this one out of nowhere. I was kind of surprised at myself when I did this. I was like, you know what? Goliath Crash? Hold up. Let me cook Goliath Crash into the Sheeran. I'll take a little bit of damage. But then Goliath effect to go ahead and attach to the Juggernaut Lieb. Now giving it another attack because it has more material. So now instead of being able to attack 2 times, it can attack 3 times on monsters. And we're still at 4K. Shiren is at 22 or something. That's 1800 attack, right? It's getting 5. It'd be 23. So yeah, it takes 1700 damage there. Now main phase 2, we resolve the Dozer once all the threats are cleared. And what do you think this little line is going to set us up right here? The perfect thing to possibly set up, which is just a Regulus for the top deck. Plain and simple Yu-Gi-Oh! Right here, and I loved every second of it. River Stormer, my guy, coming in clutch here. Adding that Therion King Regulus. Like, I don't really care what I attach to it. Just going to attach the old Trencher to it just to get the job done. And, of course, I can't slap a Zeus on top. I missed my window for the Zeus. I could have put Zeus on top of the Juggernaut Lieb before I resolved the Dozer. So that is something I could have done. We could have put up a single send Zeus with a I'm drawing a blank. I don't know why. I'm very tired today. I got up super early, got very little sleep. But yeah, the Regulus and Jaws Beast returned, and that's a wrap. We take it 2-0 against Tearlament. And last but not least, a big thank you goes to our current Divine Level channel members who are Pony Star, Cadillacs, Green, Misfit, and HC8 Cyber. Thank you guys so much, as always, for your extremely kind and very, very generous support of the channel.